Hey guys, and welcome to the Working Money channel. So this is the latest piece of Ripple news that everybody's talking about right now. Ripple in talks with Trump's administration, and they also mentioned that XRP does not equal Ripple, just to make that clear if we have not made it clear already. So Corey Johnson, new chief market strategist at Ripple for 8 months now, in a recent interview with Breaker Mag, added that a division from the crypto San Francisco-based firm is in regular discussions with the Trump administration. Regular discussions, sounds important. When asked about the administration's research on Ripple's products and crypto in general, he says there's clearly a lot of homework going on. The White House in particular seems to be thinking about what it means to have 80% of Bitcoin mining taking place in China and a majority of Ether mining taking place in China as well. When you look at XRP, there is no mining. So from a foreign control aspect or from an environmental aspect, XRP is a very different beast. And in conversations we've had with the administration, they seem to get that and think that might matter. So there are a couple of geopolitical aspects mentioned just in this one paragraph, this statement that Corey Johnson made, that might not, and again, it's important to understand context when you're reading this kind of thing. He talks about China and Bitcoin control, and we see Bitcoin and Ethereum as not threats to XRP necessarily because they don't have the use case XRP has. But we need to be careful when comparing the three. And I think this is what Corey Johnson's team with the Trump administration is discussing. As they say, a lot of homework is going on. And you got to think about it. If China has 80% of the Bitcoin mining, and the majority of Ethereum mining is also taking place in China, they have control. They can crash the systems whenever they may choose. And you've got to understand the history that the United States has with China. I'm not going to get into the entire history, but guys, I'm going to link this in the description. This is a great article I found here, U.S. Relations with China, and it gives a timeline right from when the People's Republic of China was established in 1949 all the way to present day, and you can scroll down and check it out. But there were a couple of good, interesting points I wanted to just mention here with regards to the Chinese economic status and how they seem to be quickly becoming a superpower in the 21st century. So in 2008, when there was the big stock market crash, China becomes largest U.S. foreign creditor. In September 2008, China surpasses Japan to become the largest holder of U.S. debt or treasuries at around $600 billion. The growing interdependence between the U.S. and Chinese economies becomes evident as a financial crisis threatens the global economy, fueling concerns over U.S.-China economic imbalances. So this is really important. For a long, long time, the United States of America, for decades and decades, were the largest superpower for a lot of things. And, because of certain, I don't want to get into, this is not a history lesson, but, there's been a lot of things that have gone on in the last decades, and now we're seeing these emerging economies like China become larger and larger. By 2010, China becomes world's second largest economy. China surpasses Japan as world's second largest economy after it is valued at $1.3 trillion for the second quarter of 2010, slightly above Japan's $1.28 trillion for that year. China is on track to overtake the United States as the world's #1 economy by 2027, according to Goldman Sachs chief economist Jim O'Neill. At the start of 2011, China reports a GDP of $5.88 trillion for 2010 compared to Japan's $5.47 trillion. So China's quickly catching up to the U.S. I want to just bring it down here now finally to 2018 now, and as we know, the U.S. is in a bit of a trade war with China. And we see that here, U.S.-China trade war escalates with the Trump administration, imposes fresh tariffs totaling $34 billion worth of Chinese goods. More than 800 Chinese products in the industrial and transport sectors, as well as goods such as televisions, medical devices, so on and so forth. Guys, I will link this in the description. I didn't really want to get into that so much, but it's a very interesting read if you guys haven't read it. But it just goes back to this, right? If the United States is indeed eyeing Bitcoin and Ethereum for certain purposes, it is beneficial that Ripple is in talks with Trump's administration and to give them the education so that they understand that it is not, because all these guys, we know that you don't mine XRP. We know that it's decentralized. We know all these things, but even these government officials, they still don't get it. And so they need to be educated on this. And Ripple's taking it up a notch and taking the step forward to do that. I think that's amazing. Another thing they mention in here with regards to XRP, there is no mining. So from foreign control aspect, from an environmental aspect, that's the thing I wanted to talk about. And this article came back right at the height of the last Bitcoin boom. Bitcoin boom may be a disaster for the environment. And it just talks about all the electricity being used when you mine Bitcoin and some of these other cryptocurrencies. And yeah, when you look at it from a global perspective, that is a lot of unnecessary electricity, a lot of unnecessary energy. And in a time when we're worried about global warming and using less and all that stuff, it doesn't necessarily make sense, does it? So they're in regular talks throughout Washington, and we meet with regulators as well as politicians. We've got a whole team devoted to that, not just in the United States, but worldwide. And we saw a little bit of a spike overnight for XRP, which I found quite interesting. This would have been overseas with the Asian market, so there was a spike here. And as we can see in the last, in 1 hour or a couple hours, it went from 41 cents all the way up to 52.5, and now it's back down, hovering about 47.3. So I don't know if that was a reaction to this news or not. When governments get involved in this positive way, people do get more interested in cryptocurrencies. And in this case, it's talking about, U.S. government and Ripple. So XRP, go here to CoinMarketCap. So guys, as you can see, yeah, the entire cryptocurrency market seems to have been spiking by a little bit here. So what do you guys think this means with the Trump administration and Ripple having close discussions about cryptocurrency and what seems to be XRP being a superior cryptocurrency for them, for their use cases in particular? I want to hear what you guys think. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Like the video if you like the content I'm providing. I always love hearing your comments. See you in the next one, guys.